Yo 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 what's going on? What's popping? What's happening, good people? How we feeling today, man? How we feeling? We up in this thing on a Tuesday for your A double S. How about them apples? Yes. We up here on the Tuesday, man. We rarely ever do a show on Tuesday. I really think the only time we typically come on a Tuesday is if, in the rare instance, the Falcons happen to play on the Monday, which lately has not been the case. But we do play the Raiders on Monday. But anyway, we rarely come on Tuesday. But we popped out and showed ends. You know how Kendrick Lamar say. But now I'm just tripping, man. What's going on, man? Just had some things that I wanted to talk about and discuss with y'all. So I figured, why not? Why not? I was just sitting here at the house when doing nothing, when being productive. So, hey, man, let's get on the internet and talk Falcons football. How about that? Lisa in the building said popping out like Kendrick. Yeah, had to pop out and show them. What's up, Lisa? How we doing? How we feeling? How we going? What's happening? T Dizzub in the house. What's up, Tyler? I want to keep Tyler. You know what? Honestly, I do too. We're gonna get to that, man. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna tell you why I say that, and hopefully it makes sense. To teed up, once we start talking about it, if you still don't agree with my perspective, please do tell me. If you don't agree, it's just a conversation that we're gonna have. Another PR in the house. What's going on? Another PR says, don't you dare, Tyler. Yes. We got to talk about it, man. And I knew this was really going to be an unpopular topic. But, I'm going to tell y'all why I think that. In just a moment. I'm going to tell y'all why I think that, hey, man, I love Tyler Allgeier as a player. I say this all the time for transparency. I was one of the standoff people that did not want to draft Bijan. Nothing against Bijan, but I just felt like we got Tyler Allgeier. What's the point of drafting Bijan? So, I've always been a big Tyler Allgeier guy. Excuse me. I think for once with Tyler Allgeier, for once the Falcons actually did it right. The Falcons usually don't get it right, as y'all know. They ain't got to go into that. But the Falcons rarely ever get it right. But they got it right with Tyler Allgeier. What I mean by that is this is a guy you drafted in the 5th round, right? And in terms of NFL money, you're paying him absolutely peanuts and donuts. You're not paying him anything because he's a 5th round pick. But he was giving you 1st round production. As a rookie, he set the franchise rookie record. So in the NFL, that's really one of the key components to sustain success is you get a bunch of Tyler Allgeiers on your team, meaning guys that to be frank, you're underpaying. Tyler Allgeier, you was underpaying him as a rookie on a 5th round contract, and that's in a hard cap league like the NFL. That's really how you get sustained success, when you underpaying guys. And I don't mean that. I'm not saying that maliciously, like saying the Falcons should never pay guys what they're worth. But what I'm saying is you find a bunch of gems. You find that 5th rounder like Grady, and you got him on a rookie contract. Same thing for Tyler Allgeier. You find some 6th or 7th round guys. You find a 3rd round guy, and as a rookie, he's giving you 9-10 sacks as a 3rd round pick. That's what I mean. You get a bunch of steals in the draft, and you get Pro Bowl type production and all pro production from them before you got to pay them, because you ain't gonna be able to underpay them forever. But that's kind of what I mean. Also, but yeah, we are gonna definitely get into that, man. I think it'll be an interesting conversation. David says, "What's up, Tidy House? McClellan doing? Is he hurt? Is he still hurt? I thought he got injured. We're talking about trading Tyler. He needs to be ready to replace him. As to change the pace back, I do agree. Is McClellan hurt though? I thought I saw somebody say something about him being hurt. I gotta look into that. My bro Travis Press is in his house. What's going on, Travis, brother? I hope you're doing good on this nice Tuesday afternoon. He says, what's up, 478 in this thing? Shout out to the 478, the whole entire 478 Central Georgia, Middle Georgia. Also, best of luck to the Northeast Raiders high school football team as they will be traveling to Atlanta to play in the Benz for the state championship, which is actually a week from now. They're going to be playing on Tuesday, and this is their first time ever appearing in a state championship game. So I wish the Northeast Raiders the best of luck on their quest to get a ring. Another PR says Drake and Tyler are the heart of the team. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Guys like Drake, guys like Tyler, then you got your veterans like Grady Jarrett, you know, the heartbeat of the team, you know, and I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. And once we get into that discussion, hopefully I will make a little bit of sense to you. I promise y'all I'm not trolling. I'm not clickbaiting. But I have my reasons why I say that. And if you've been watching some of the streams, I've been saying that on the low for like a few streams now. And I just figured, you know, why not just make it a bigger topic of conversation? We got our bro Brian Cornelius in the house, ripping that 404 in here. Shout out to Atlanta, Georgia in this thing also, man, in this thing also. I was in the when was that? Friday? What's that? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Yeah, I went to Atlanta on Friday, and I went to Brian or anybody that's in Atlanta or goes, you know, in that to Atlanta. But I went there and hung out for my birthday. You know, happy belated birthday to me. You know, another year under the sun, another December in the books. I always thank for the God whenever I have a birthday. I made a tradition as I've gotten older. Anytime I have a birthday, anytime the clock rolls over to 12 a.m., you know, I'll just immediately go and pray. No matter what I'm doing, I'll just pray. And, you know, I thank God for another year, you know, on earth. Because one thing about getting old, when you start to get old, you realize that even though you know it when you're younger, you realize that nobody is immortal. You know, we all gonna have that time on that calendar when we leave here, and you know that when you're young too. I mean, you know that at the youngest of ages, you know, but when you get older, it really starts to become more apparent to you as you get older. You know, because you know you start losing people that are close to you. You start losing friends, and your friends start losing people that are close to them. And especially in the social media world now, you know, definitely something I don't like to see. But you almost can't go a day without getting on your Facebook and you seeing a rest in peace post to somebody. And I lost two people that were very close to me. Within these last 12 months of my life. Both of them were my cousins, and they meant a lot to me. You know, those are because like if you really know me on a personal level, I grew up with them first off, but if you know me on a personal level, like I'm really not necessarily like to talk on the phone type. You know, I'm just a true introvert. You know, I'm like a text person. You know, if you want to communicate with me, hey, send me a text. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, you know, but that's just how I am. I'm just one of them guys that, you know, I'm not real big on phones. And that comes from me being an introvert. And also, I think it comes from the last time I was employed with my most recent employer. I worked there for like almost 17 years. And my job, you know, it was a Fortune 500 company, but my job was I had to get on the phone every single day and talk to customers, talk to clients, and it started to wear thin on me mentally. And I think along with me being an introvert, it got me to the point where I really just don't enjoy talking on the phone. And maybe I'll be able to break that come out of that shell sooner than later. But that's who I am as of now. But I'm getting off track. The reason I say that because those are two of my cousins. We all were pretty much the same age. I think Wonder Mike was probably about almost a year younger than me. But those were two people who would get me on the phone. They're like, no, boy, you gonna talk on the phone. F them texts, we gonna talk on the phone. Because when we came up, we had to talk to each other. It wasn't no damn texts, sending text. So both of those cousins, they would get me on the phone and we had the longest and best conversations, man. And I'm talking about those were just two who could do it because they knew they know how I am, and they be like, oh no, you about to talk on the phone, bro. We about to catch up, we about to laugh, we about to reminisce, and I lost both of them, since I had my last birthday. And you just realize that as you get older, man, like life is very precious. And I know this is cliche, but you really can't take a moment for granted, because tomorrow's not promised to any one of us. And I'm not telling y'all anything that you don't already know. But yeah, happy belated birthday to me. And also rest in peace to my cousins Marcus and also to my cousins Mike Brooks. Love both of y'all. All right, so let's get going, man. Let's get going. Let me get caught back up on the comments. Lisa says, I want to keep Tyler too. Definitely Team Allgeier. Hashtag Team Allgeier. Lisa also says, I will put Pitts on the trade block before Allgeier. She kind of banging on Kyle Pitts on the low. Brian says, if anything, send Pitts on his way and try to get something for him. What is your draft since we are missing so many picks? Okay, good. I'm already loving this conversation we're about to have because essentially everybody said, hey, boy, you tripping, dog. Don't come in here with that bullshit, Tyler. Don't come in here on no bullshit today. You talking about trade Allgeier, hey, boy, don't make me cut you. I'll cut you if I got to. Don't make me cut you, dog. And I like that. That means this should be a good conversation to have, and I'm gonna get to it in just a moment, y'all. I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying this. But yeah, we'll discuss it. We'll chop it up in a minute. We got our brother Demetrius in the building. What's going on, Demetrius? It's been a minute, man. I hope you're doing real good, bro. Demetrius, if I'm looking at trading someone, Kyle Pitts would be on the trade block for sure. So another person trying to trade Kyle Pitts out of here. Carlo Wiggins in the building. What's up, my brother? Man, we got to keep Tyler. He doing his job. We don't get better gambling on the maybe. I definitely agree with you on that. Very, very wise words. Very wise words. Big Ron Thomas in the building, repping that 706. Shout out to everybody in the 706, especially Columbus, Georgia. My old stomping grounds when I used to go down there and party at the Firehouse nightclub, man. That was back when partying was the thing to do. I ain't talking about just this generation, they go to the clubs. But we used to go to the clubs to party. There's a difference. These young whippersnappers now, they don't go to party. They go to the clubs to just go to the clubs, be seen and get on Instagram, take some pictures and all that razzle dazzle mess. I don't even think these folks have dance floors no more, bro. True, man. We used to go down to the Firehouse, bro. We going down there to try to holler at some women, get on that dance floor. You know what I'm saying? Get our groove. Oh boy, I'm talking about doing the good old days, man. I'm showing my age now, but hey, I'm unk status now. I'm officially unk status. So it's in my nature now for me to reminisce about the good old days. But nowadays, man, it ain't the same. I don't even think these clubs have dance. I don't go to clubs no more. So I'm just going off what I hear other people say. When I was starting to phase out of the clubs in my 30s, I started to see the transition then. They were getting rid of the dance floors. The sections were coming in. See, when I was in the clubs, man, VIP and sections that existed, but that was just for people who come in to perform. If you had a rapper come, T.I. early in his career, Pastor Troy early in his career, who else used to come? Young Jeezy early in their career, like early 2000s. When they perform at the club, after their performance, they go sit in the VIP. Now, everybody just want to get a section. But see, I'm showing my age again because we call it VIP. Now they call it sections, and and buy the bottles and all that stuff. Like I say, man, we used to go to party and holler at females, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's what we used to go to the club for, bro. We going down there to get our 1-2 step on, dog. I'm trying to find me a little thick something, get my little dance on. Y'all know how that fella, bro, boy. Shit. But let me get past that before I end up getting in trouble on this thing. Let me just say that I don't want us to get rid of Tyler, but he is underutilized in the offense. We're gonna talk about that, bro. We are going to talk about that, brother. We definitely are going to talk about that. We got our brother Marlon in the house. What's going on, Marlon? This is brother Ty, the chat fan. What's happening? Please don't trade Tyler Allgeier. Happy birthday, dog. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, y'all. Thank you very much. And this is gonna be a good conversation about Tyler Allgeier because I think I'm gonna be standing on my by myself in the corner trying to explain my perspective to y'all. But that's good, that makes the topic more compelling, and also somewhat of a challenge too, But I'm gonna get into it in just a moment. We got our dog Winston Thornton in the building. What's going on, buddy? What's going on, bud? In chat, smash the like button. Yes, please hit that like button, man. Help us jump into the algorithm. And also check out Winston tomorrow on the Eye Test with John Harris, Wednesday, 10 p.m. here on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed to the Eye Test, look them up on Facebook and hit that subscribe button as well. Another PR says you should get more value if you trade Pitts. I don't know. Possibly. Possibly. I guess it kind of depends on what a team wants. I don't know. You're probably correct though, because I would speculate or I would guess that Kyle Pitts should have a longer NFL career than Tyler Allgeier based on the position they play and based on their style of play. Tyler's a big bruiser. And in today's NFL, unfortunately, those type of running backs, their career span has taken taken a step back as opposed to what it used to be. So you are probably correct in that. We got our brother Jay Lana 81 in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you coming in. Demetrius also says, I've been disappointed that we haven't used Tyler more in the offense. The penalties we accumulate every week, the play calling, Kirk's regression, all valid points, especially the regression of our quarterback. So disappointed in his play, man. Jay Lana said, I agree. I think they need to trade him for the simple fact that these Falcons fans actually think he's better than Bijan, which is crazy. Jay Lana banging a little bit on the fan base. The meter says, damn, my condolences, Toddy. Losing people is never easy. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. I do definitely do appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. T-Dub says, happy belated birthday. My condolences to your brother. Appreciate that, T-Dub. Thank you very much. Bernard says definitely should trade Allgeier and possibly Pitts. All right, and we're gonna discuss that too, Bernard. So if you can, stick around, man. We're about to jump into that discussion as well. We got our bro Millie Mills in the building. What's going on, Millie? Tyler, what's up, bro? Tyler, gotta go, bro. F it. Millie be tripping me out with his. Millie gets straight to the point. He gonna say what's up, and then I'm gonna get straight to the point. Whatever gets us more pick, Tyler is replaceable. All right, so so far I got two people on my side, y'all. I got two people on my side. Everybody else in the chat, like, boy, you must start smoking some good weed on your birthday or something. Boy, you talking about trading Tyler? Yeah. Bernard says, for some reason, I think Penix Jr. will throw the Pitts, possibly, man. Possibly. Hey, the few times that not Pitts, but Penix has thrown the ball, man. You done had a lot of zip. Whew, the ball coming out like a rocket, man. Hey, man, you might be on to something, man. You might be on to something. But I do think they picked up Kyle Pitts' fifth-year option. So, you know, they may both be starting in Atlanta next year at this rate. Ron says, Tyler, can we trade Coach and Pitts? Ooh. Now, I'm sure you'd have a market for Pitts, but I'm not sure how strong Raheem Morris' trade market is currently, man. We need him to go on another winning streak. If we go trade Coach Morris, you know, I don't think nobody gonna want him on a 4-game losing streak, bro. So we need him to win a little bit more. Trucker Mike 404 in the building, obviously repping that 404. What's up to you, Trucker Mike, bro? How's everything going? Got a doubt. Jada in the building. She's tired. I see us moving on from Terry. But no, possibly. Hey, possibly. Hey, man, the way we finish this season gonna tell a lot about his future. You know, if these boys just flatline and they can't win another game, hey, man, he probably would definitely be out of here, man, without a shadow of a doubt. Marlon says, yo, if we make a trade, can we trade the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator? So Marlon said, get all the asses out of here, bro. Every last cat calling the shot on the coaching staff, get him out of here. Benito. Another PR says Johnny Hideaway is for me. So was that your club spot back in the day? Another PR, Johnny Hideaways. Ron Thomas says 112 in prime time. I remember Club 112. I remember 112. Club 112, where the players dwell. That old Biggie line, but oh man, 112. As the young folks say now, 112 was a movie back in the day, man. Whoa. And the bounce, oh man, bro. No, the bounce, you know, the bounce is a real huge big club, but it was a little ratchet in there too. So, but I used to love it, man. I need a little. I used to really like a little ratchet in my life in my younger years, and I was living more reckless back in the time. So I used to love that ratchetness, man. I miss the bounce, man. Man, those were some good times, bro. So, you know, y'all young cats, you still in your 20s, even your 30s, man, cherish that time because it go by fast. I swear, it seemed like just last week I was still in my 20s, you know, but that's definitely not the case. John says, what up, Toddy? Hope your day been good. It has, John, and same to you, man. I hope you've had a great day. I think we should try to keep Tyler and also Kyle Pitts. Penix might be able to get the ball to him. And when you say Penix, I think you're speaking more about Kyle Pitts than Tyler in that scenario, and possibly so, because you know we've been looking at the film this year, and we've seen a lot of instances where Kyle Pitts is open, man, and for whatever reason we just can't get him the football, and it's frustrating to watch, especially when your team start losing. You know, if you ain't getting him the ball and you still winning, hey man, like, hey, we winning. But when he ain't getting the ball and we losing, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Got our brother Jeremy Dupree in the building. What's going on, Jeremy? Says this is the running back heavy draft. I think we can get something good for Tyler Allgeier. So Jeremy said, hey man, well, we might come up on some good draft. We might get a good draft pick for old TA25, dog. Trucker Mike said, Velvet Room. Oh yeah, man. Classic Atlanta, bro. That was like the last I think that was probably like the last era of old Atlanta, before it transitioned to new Atlanta. I remember going to Central Stations after the clubs, man. And you talking about a real after hour spot. Boy, I remember the first time I set foot in that club, it was like 5 o'clock. I know one of my partners who was living up there at the time. I forget what club we was coming out of, but it was like 4:30. I think the club might have closed at 4, and so we all straggling, get to the parking lot at 4:30. And I remember he like, yeah, man, we're about to go to the after hour spot. I'm like, after hours, bro? It's damn near 5 o'clock. Like, really? Like, yeah, man, we're going to the Central Station. I'm like, okay, let's go. Because like I said, I'm young at that time, bro. I'm full of energy. Like, hey, let's get it, man. But going to Central Station, bro, it was just Central Station was like a whole another world. That was like an underworld. You know what I mean? It was an underworld. You know, saw a bunch of people doing all kind of stuff in there, bro. We'll leave that at that. Bernard says, man, we drafted a lot of bombs on defense year after year. That's true. That is definitely true. Definitely true. Jeremy says, my condolences, my brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that a great deal, man. Thanks a lot. Jada says, if we trade Tyler, I'm done with this team. Don't do that, Jada. Don't do it. I'm about to jump into the conversation on why I feel that we should do that. So don't leave the team. Ron says, coach that be on your show all the time. Oh, you talking about coach. Ron in here banging on coach. I thought you were talking about Raheem Morris, bro. Ron, you funny as hell, man. Carlos says if they fire Terry, does McKay get the kid back? I hope not, bro. But that probably would move him back on the Falcon side of thing, and get involved in the decision making and whatnot. But I hope not, man. That's why I want Terry to succeed. Keep Rich McKay away from the day-to-day operations. This is Tyler. Can you do a mock drill? Yeah, sure, man. If I go ahead and get this show started, man, if I got time at the end of the show, I'll do one right now with no problem. Carla Wilson, Johnny is still popping. What is that, man? I never heard of that. Y'all got to tell me about that spot. And I didn't even finish my story how I got to talking about clubs. But I went to the spot for my birthday. A girl took me to my favorite restaurant in Atlanta. And then, after that, she took me out for drinks. We went to, any of y'all Atlanta folk, y'all ever been to 42 Bar and Grill? I think it just opened earlier this year, I think in March or maybe April. But it's right off Memorial Drive, 42 Bar and Grill. And they got a funny sign inside. This is not a club. Like I told you, I'm not in clubs no more. This is, like I said, a bar and grill. But they got a sign by the bathroom say don't do cocaine in our bathroom. Funny as hell. But it was a nice, cool spot, man. I went in there and had me an old fashioned, man. And I really enjoyed myself. That was a nice vibe in there, a dope vibe. I'm at the age now, man. I ain't trying to be right. No offense, because we all been young. I'm sitting here talking about my old days and me loving ratchetness when I was old. I mean, when I was young. So nothing against young folk. But if the demographic in their 20s, I don't want to hang out with them, bro. I'm past that point. If the demographic in the 20s, I don't want to hang out with them. I need the older demographics. But yeah, 42 Bar and Grill, man. That was a nice spot. Nice chill spot. Got some good drinks. And surprisingly for Atlanta, reasonably priced drinks too. So y'all check that out, man. I give them my stamp of approval. We had just left from eating, so we didn't order nothing else to eat. But the menu looked fire too. It looked like they got some good food in there. But check them out, all my Atlanta people, man. Check them out. Another PR says Mr. Blank must be getting tired of looking looking at a fool in the owners meeting. I know they probably got some jokes, some inside jokes with Arthur Blank, especially after that Super Bowl, man. Especially after the Super Bowl. Got a dog, Red Swarm is in the building. What's going on, Swarm? How we doing today, my friends? Says, yo, what up, Toddy? I was at Morris Brown. I was a Morris Brown student back in 1985 before y'all time. Phoenix nightclub was the spot. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Phoenix nightclub, but in 85, I know that thing was on fire, man. I know it had to be on fire. That's one thing about Atlanta, man. You're gonna find yourself a good time in the A without a doubt. Jada says this is one of the best Falcons podcast channels on YouTube. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, man. And it's a lot of excellent Falcons content creators, man. I won't name drop anybody because I don't want to forget nobody, but that's a lot of great content creators, man. Dundre Trice says love that place. What place? Um, Thank you again, Jade. I do appreciate that. He says them wings. Jamar says, "What's up, Tyler? I think it's time to move on from Pitts. What do you think we could get for him right now? If you trade Kyle Pitts, man, based on potential, you might can get the third round. I see him maybe more on the fourth, probably fourth rounder. But based on potential, you might get a third rounder for him, man. You know, somebody might see some potential in him. Hell, the Chiefs may give you a second rounder for him because they looking at it like, look, Kelsey gonna be out of here in probably the next year or two at most. You know, he about to go jump in media with his brother. You know, they're about to make more money in the second half of their careers outside of football than they did as football players. So Kelsey on his way out, you know, he gonna probably end up marrying Taylor Swift, which I ain't mad at him for that. But that's a billionaire, dog. Hey, do your thing. Yeah, but you might get swung to the Chiefs with a second rounder for him because, like I said, they're about to lose Kelsey, and then they got Mahomes. So, you know, Mahomes can make you better than you really are because he's such a great quarterback. You know, so you know, second, third, fourth, somewhere in that area. He said the Phoenix was popping, y'all. All right, so shout out to the Phoenix. All right, so y'all. Let me go ahead and jump to why I say the Falcons should look at trading Tyler Allgeier. Now, let me start and say this, you know, like I said, so y'all don't end up cutting me. Y'all see me in the street like, boy, I'm about to jab you. But no, I'm just joking. It's not that he's not a very good running back or he don't have a lot of potential. That's not the reason. It's not based on bad play or him being a bad person or nothing like that. It's not based on that. It's just based on the fact that you got Bijan, right? Bijan is a great young back, great back. But the Falcons, they've made it apparent that Bijan is going to be the closest thing to a cowbell without being a true cowbell like a Derrick Henry. You know, if there was a tier of cowbell running backs, you're going to have Derrick Henry, and then Bijan is going to be somewhere not too far from that. And not even based on getting a lot of carries, but based on playing time, snaps, what they want to do with the offense. And every time I watch games, and then when we come back in here and we watch film, it's apparent that the offense revolves around Bijan Robinson. It's apparent that the offense revolves around Bijan. Bijan can run the ball, pass block, and he can catch out the backfield. So, and also this Bijan was drafted in the first round, 8th overall. So he's going to play. He's damn good. It ain't like they playing him just to justify where he was drafted, you know, Troy Anderson. But he's a damn good player. So he's going to get the vast majority of these snaps. You know, I know there's a segment of people that will even say, you know what Tyler's just as good of a runner as Bijan. You know, and if that's your stance on it, I'm cool with that. You know, I wouldn't have a big argument with you about that. But when it comes to pass blocking, it's not close. Bijan is a far better pass blocker. When it comes to catching out the backfield, it's not close. Bijan is a far better receiving option out of the backfield than Tyler Allgeier. So you got Bijan who can do so much more for you than Tyler Allgeier. And that's the reason, like, I hear our fans complain all the time, and rightfully so. Allgeier need more carries, Allgeier need more carries, Allgeier need more carries. Rightfully so, but Bijan is just so great at doing so many different things as a running back. It's hard to pull him off the field. It's hard to pull him off the field. There are even instances, you know, again, going back when people say, well, Tyler should get the ball more. If you pay attention to the games, sometimes they'll bring Bijan in the pass and when Zach Robinson is going to call a passing play, you know, Bijan will go into the game. Pass blocker, receiving option. You know, he's just a better fit when it's time to pass. But Kirk will get to the line and he will call an audible. He'll see something on the defense, say, you know what, it's better suited to run the ball. That's an extra rushing attempt for Bijan that Zach Robinson didn't bring in. You feel what I'm saying? So that's some ways also that Bijan gets more gets more of the rushing attempts in comparison to Tyler Allgeier. Another component of it is Tyler has 1 year left on his contract after this year, right? And after that, you're gonna have to pay him. You know, I'm not saying you're gonna pay him Saquon Barkley money or Derrick Henry money, but hey, it's gonna be pretty significant, man. You know, he's gonna want some significant money. You don't want to get in a position, Atlanta Falcons, where you got a significant running back contract in your running back room, Tyler Allgeier, then you got a real big boy contract in your running back room with Bijan Robinson. Because remember, only 1 year of experience separates these two guys. Tyler Allgeier came in 2022. Bijan came in right after that, 2023. So you're going to get to a point, Atlanta Falcons, where that second contract, after they come off their rookie deals, they're going to eventually be simultaneous deals. You're going to have to pay them both at the same time. You don't, because trust me, Bijan going to be here. Too much invested in him. Bijan is going to be here. Barring anything major happening, I knock on wood, he will be here past his rookie contract. He will get a 5th-year option, which is going to be worth a lot of money. It's going to be worth a lot. His 5th year going to be worth a lot of money. So you just don't want to be in that predicament where you're paying Bijan. Bijan is probably going to reset the running back market when he signs. You know, probably is. And then you don't want to look over here, and then you got Tyler Allgeier with a multi-million-dollar contract also. Now you got running backs sucking up a very significant portion of your cap. In today's NFL, teams have shown that, look, you don't need to pay running backs to be successful or to win Super Bowls. You know, you can keep going into the draft to get running backs. You found Tyler Allgeier in the 5th round. You found Devontae Freeman in the 3rd round, if I'm correct. You found Tevin Coleman in the 4th round. You can keep going into the draft for your running backs. If Bijan is the guy, make him the guy, and you just keep fishing in the draft every 2 to 3 years to supplement the backup. Let's make no mistake about it, y'all. Tyler Allgeier is the backup. You know, Tyler is the backup. He will remain the backup as long as Bijan is here. and it don't look like Bijan going nowhere anytime soon. And Tyler Allgeier is outside of maybe Gibbs. Tyler Allgeier is like Tyler is a elite backup running back in the NFL. I didn't say he's a elite running back. I said he's an elite backup running back in the NFL. Putting some context to that. He's an elite backup running back in the NFL, which means that he would be the starting running back on a lot of teams in the NFL. So when it's time for him to renegotiate his contract, there's not going to be any hometown discounts. There's not going to be any, I love Atlanta. You know, I'll take a lot less just to stay here. That's not going to happen. He's a running back. This might be his only opportunity to maximize his earning potential. So him and his agent, they're going to want every dime that they can get. And then if Atlanta, if you can't pay it, we're going to go somewhere else who can. So with that said, you might as well get something for Tyler Allgeier while you got him under contract. I might be wrong, y'all, but I just don't see Atlanta Falcons paying two running backs that kind of money, man, that they're going to demand. I don't see it at the running back position. I do not see it. I don't see it happening. Not at the running back position. Because, again, Bijan is already going to take a bunch of money. And so, again, I think you could just go in the draft for Bijan's backups. Every 2 years, every 3 years, or however they want to do it, just go get Bijan's backup in the draft. You know, just like McClellan, just go get his backup. So that's a big reason I say you trade Tyler and you get something for him. You know, whatever the best deal you can find for Tyler Allgeier, you take it. Somebody wants to give you a 3rd round pick, that's the best offer. Hey, you take it. You know, because you're in all likelihood, you're going to lose him after his final season in Atlanta, which is next season. You know, next year, his final year in the contract. So go ahead and get something for him. If somebody wants to give you a second rounder because they see that Tyler Allgeier is the missing piece to a possible Super Bowl run, they'll give you a 2nd round pick. Take it. Take it. You know, take the 2nd rounder. You use that second round pick to continue to try to build this roster up for Michael Penix. You use that pick to continue to try to build this roster up for Michael Penix Jr., you know, who's going to be our future quarterback. Another thing to consider. When you look at the snaps that each running back gets, Tyler Allgeier right now, he's on pace. Tyler is on pace to have 133 rushing attempts this season. That's his pace. He's getting the ball. When I looked at it, I think he's getting the ball on average about 7 times a game. So he's on pace to get about 133 rushing attempts total. Bijan is getting the ball almost 17 rushing attempts. Bijan is getting about almost 17 rushing attempts per game. So he's on pace to get about 281 rushing attempts. Now you compare that to Tyler Allgeier projection of 133. That's more than double. The Falcons are clearly telling you Tyler is the backup. I've seen some people say, well, no, it's more 1A, 1B. No, it's not. It's not 1A and 1B. It's not even close to 1A and 1B. You got the starting running back running the ball almost, you know, it's not 3 times as much, but it's over half. 133, 281. That's starter, backup. It's not even remotely close. It would be different if Bijan was on pace to get 200 rushing attempts. Tyler was on pace to get 155, 165 rushing attempts. That's different. That's closer to 1A, 1B because they're almost getting the same amount of rushing attempts. But Bijan, 281. Tyler Allgeier, 133. Let's be honest. Tyler is not that type of running back that is going to do a whole lot of damage catching the ball. I'm not saying he can't, but he just don't have that versatility like a Bijan. You know, you can't send Tyler to line up in the slot. You can't send Tyler to line up in the slot and he can run an out route or a curl or a drag, or you can send him in motion to figure out if the defense is man or zone. Like what are they doing? You just can't do all that with Tyler Allgeier. You know, and that's not a knock against him. That's really just a compliment to how versatile Robinson is. So that's why I say that, y'all. The Falcons just don't need to pay. We don't need to pay 2 running backs, y'all. You don't need to dedicate that much money to your running back room. Because Bijan's contract is gonna be a haymaker for a running back. It's gonna be a haymaker. He's gonna make a lot of money on his when he comes off that rookie deal. He's gonna reset the running back market. So that's why I say you make a trade or you try to trade him. You know, you let him. You let the rest of the general managers in the league know, like, hey, if you give us the deal we're looking for, yeah, you can come and get Tyler Allgeier. It's better to get something for him than to just let him walk in free agency. A guy that's averaging 7 rushing attempts a game, y'all. That's not my math. That's the Atlanta Falcons math. A guy that's averaging 7 rushing attempts a game, y'all. That is clearly the backup. And once you have a Pro Bowl level starter, that means the backup is replaceable. You know, he's expendable. And as much as we love Tyler, especially what he did for us his rookie year, that's just the business of the league. As I'm sure y'all have heard mentioned thousands of times, you can't pay everybody. You cannot pay everybody. You know, this ain't baseball. This is a hard cap league. And again, Bijan is going to make a big boy check. You drafted him at 8th overall. That's your Bijan is your guy. That's your guy. That's your guy. And I don't want the Falcons, and I don't think the Falcons will, even though they're the Falcons. They've done a lot of crazy shit in my time. But I don't even think the Falcons would make that kind of move where they pay 2 running backs significant money like that. Because Tyler ain't going to be cheap either. There's a market for Tyler Allgeier. Tyler could go right now today and start on a lot of NFL teams and be very productive. He still has the talent to be 1,000+ yard rusher. He is there. You see it. We know it. And that's why a lot of us are saying, no, man, you crazy as hell, Tiny. You talking about trading Tyler Allgeier? Boy, is you on drugs? Is you on dope? I see it, y'all. Trust me. I'm not being foolish. I'm not trolling. I'm just looking. I'm trying my best to look at this objectively. What's going to be better for the Falcons in really the long run? You know, you don't want to be in the position you're paying Bijan 15, 16, 17, 18 million per year. I'm not sure what the market will be at that time. But Bijan gonna make a lot of money as a running back, y'all. Get ready. Get ready. It's gonna happen. And then you don't want to be in a position where you mess around and you on top of that 16, 17, 18 million per year that Bijan Robinson is making, and now you're trying to pay Tyler Allgeier $4, $5, $6 million a year. Now you're over $20 million in your running back room. That's a significant part of your salary cap that's dedicated to a position that really isn't high value in the NFL like it used to be. Teams show us every single year that they can win by drafting running backs in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Like, one thing you can go find good running backs in the draft. You know, good young lads, good hungry young legs. You can find them every year in the draft. You can go find that backup, you know, to supplement what you would lose from Tyler Allgeier. And trust me, I like Tyler, y'all. I like Tyler. You know, I was resistant to draft Bijan because of Tyler. But now that Bijan's here, we can't ignore the obvious. That running back room belongs to Bijan Robinson. If you really think about it holistically, outside of the quarterback position, because the quarterback position is so different than the rest of the team. But minus the quarterback position, that offense belongs to Bijan. It don't belong to Drake. It don't belong to Mooney. It don't belong to Kyle Pitts, obviously. That's Bijan's offense, y'all. That offense set up for Bijan Robinson. You see it, I see it. And I promise you, even if Zach Robinson left here tomorrow, the next offensive coordinator will have a similar scheme for Robinson because he can do so many different things well. Even those games where Bijan just can't get going running the ball, you know, the defense too good and they're ready for Bijan. He still is an effective pass blocker. Bijan been knocking people's heads off all year long pass blocking. You know, we just watched it last night and we sitting there like, dog, Bijan almost knocked that linebacker almost 3 yards back. He had the linebacker sitting there, oh, and you see it multiple times per game. And because Bijan can do so much so damn well, he's gonna stay in the game. He's gonna stay in the game. You know, if you, like a lot of offensive coordinators do, if the quarterback got a 2-pack of plays, all right, if the defense do this, Kurt, you got this audible. You know, you got a 2-pack. Or if they send in a 4-pack of plays, okay, here, you got 2-pack, you got 2 running plays, you got 2 passing plays you can audible to. When you see, if y'all ever notice, when Kirk started doing that movement, started doing that talking, he started changing the plays, he started talking to Bijan. Just last night, we saw him tell Bijan, okay, and I think they called in a running play and Kirk changed it to a pass play. And they were in the pistol and Kirk told Bijan, okay, scoot up, get the linebacker. He's coming. I see him. He's about to come. And just as my name is Toddy, the linebacker came, Bijan picked him up. Stuff like that is going to keep him in the game. When a offensive coordinator or a head coach, they know they got a surefire blocking running back, you're going to find your way on the field. If you're a damn good blocker, they might not even hand you the ball but 2 times a game. But if they know you can block, you're going to find yourself on the field. So imagine being a damn good pass blocker as a running back, a damn good runner of the football, a damn good receiving option. You're going to stay on the field. And there's no knock on Tyler when I see it all the time. And why they don't get Tyler Allgeier more carries? Why don't give him more carries? Because it's so hard to take Bijan out the game. That's why. It's not so much that, you know, we know Tyler's talented, but it's hard to take Bijan out of the game. So with all that said, like, trade him. Look to trade him. Look to get you a nice draft pick where you can add to the team for Penix. You know, look to trade him, or you can add a defensive player on the team. You know, I just don't let him walk out the door with nothing, or you don't get nothing for him. So that's why I say that, y'all. You know, that's why I'm saying, like, look, we love Tyler Allgeier, but the best thing to do would be to trade him. As of right now, total snap count right now, Tyler Allgeier has a total of 123 snaps after 14 weeks. Bijan has a total of 239 snaps after 14 weeks. 239, 123. That means so far, Bijan Robinson so far is playing double the amount of time. And those are just not, and that's what I mean by a pass blocker. Those are just not running plays. There's a bunch of pass plays that are coming in where Kirk and Zach Robinson, they want Bijan on the field to pass block. You know, I know we get caught up in watching Bijan run because he's an excellent runner. He's entertaining to watch run the football. But I'm telling y'all, go back and watch some of the games. Just watch him pass blocking. You know, just watch him pass block, and you're gonna be like, damn. I see what Toddy talking about. Now this motherfucker be blocking his ass off. He be blocking his ass off. And when you got all that rolled up in one, oh, it's hard to take that guy off the field, y'all. You know, so that's why I say that, y'all. You know, not that I don't like Tyler, because please, y'all don't take it me hating on Tyler. I don't like Tyler. Again, I was a guy sitting up here pissed off, mad that we drafted Bijan because we had Tyler. You know, I started last year off being resistant to Bijan. Like, man, bump this, bro. We didn't need to draft the dude. You know what I'm saying? We already got Tyler Allgeier. What Bijan? But I can't lie to myself. I see what I'm seeing on the field. I'm seeing what my team is doing, how they're scheming. I'm seeing one guy getting 17 carries a game, and the other guy getting just 7 carries a game. I promise y'all, you can replace 7 carries per game, y'all. You do the math, that's not even 2 carries a quarter. You can replace 7 carries a game. One guy is clearly your starter, and one guy is clearly his backup. And when it comes to running backs, if they have trade value, which Tyler does have, and he's clearly the backup, look to trade him instead of paying them both. You know, look to trade them instead of paying them both. Let me come in the comments, y'all. My bad. I was kind of rambling there. Damn, my ear itch. T-Dub says, yeah, I get it. Okay. So T-Dub said that first, like, boy, you crazy as hell. But 20 minutes later, T-Dub like, I kind of get it. I get it. You know, you ain't talking as much bullshit as I thought you were. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Winston says, best bet is to trade him while we can. Mess around and end up like the Bengals with the T Higgins situation. That's a good point. Because T is going after this. That's an excellent point. Exactly. Great example. And that's exactly what I'm pretty much saying. Trade him while you can. Trade why? And he got high value right now. This guy he rarely ever fumble. I think he's only fumbled once in his career. He's still young. Big body receiver. Big body running back who can move. You know? So his value is never going to be any higher than it is right now in the NFL. So why that trade value is high, go ahead and take advantage of it. Because in all likelihood, a strong likelihood, you're not going to keep him here past his rookie year. And I know the Falcons know that. I know they know that. So you might as well go ahead and trade him. You just drafted another running back. And listen, y'all, they didn't do that by coincidence. I'm sure that they're already thinking about this. Like, yeah, we probably going to have to trade, Tyler Allgeier. So let's go ahead and draft a running back this year. They didn't trade it. They didn't draft that running back for no reason. You know, and if you don't like what you see out of McClellan, use a sixth or seventh, or well, we ain't got a fifth, but use a sixth or seventh rounder. I don't think we got a seventh either. But anyway, use a late round draft pick this year. Go get another one. You can find running backs in the NFL, yo. You can. And we still have a relatively young offensive line. Now, sometimes the pass block is a little sketchy, but them boys on our offensive line, they can run block. You know, you still got a nice nucleus of young offensive linemen. That's established. So even if you don't want to spend a draft pick on a running back, get one in free agency that's relatively cheap. Get one that you can pay $800,000 to $1.5 million per year. That's about as far as you need to go on your backup running back when you got Bijan Robinson. You know, and don't get me wrong, you don't want to overuse Bijan and put a lot of wear and tear on his body early, but still, a backup, that's the backup running back. You know, that's the backup running back. Another PR says, I'm coming around, Tyler. Cowboys would love Tyler. Yep. Another PR thought out. He's like, hey, man, you crazy as hell. When the show first started, we like, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. You know, I don't want to sign Bijan to a record running back contract in a few years, and I'm already paying Allgeier $5 or $6 million a year. You know, $4 or $5, $6 million a year. But that's what I meant, y'all. It's not that I don't know that Tyler Allgeier is a damn good back. He's dependable. But this Bijan's team. You know, there's no room for competition for Bijan. And I mean that in terms of monetary value. Like, you know, big dog, back up to the big dog. Big dog, back up to the big dog. Jamar says, honestly, I can dig the idea. Ain't no way we paying two running backs and Drake London coming up. Exactly, bro. My point exactly. You know, you just say the salary cap just won't allow it. We won't allow it, and it wouldn't be wise for the Falcons. It just wouldn't be a smart move. You know, it wouldn't be smart. Bijan Robinson is in year 2 of his career. He's already one of the better overall running backs in the league. He's already one of the better overall running backs in the league. Even with a probably, I hate to say this because it's the enemy, but even a probable future Hall of Famer in Alvin Kamara, Bijan is arguably the best running back in the NFC South in just his second year. You know, and you can see his confidence in the game starting to slow down for Bijan every single game. You can see it. You know, he was not this good of a blocker last year, but the game is becoming easier to him. You can see it every single game. So that's why I come to the idea that I'm presenting to y'all that we should entertain trading Tyler Allgeier in the offseason. Nothing against Tyler. Love Tyler Allgeier, you know, but it is what makes more sense for the franchise, for the Falcons franchise. And I just feel like that's the best thing for the Falcons. That would make most sense for the Falcons. Rusty Moore Jr. in the building. What's going on? Rusty says trade Tyler, cut McGarry, get a pick for Tyler and save $34 million. Cut McGarry and Grady. Time to get younger. We weren't as ready to win now as we were so last season. My question: if you cut McGarry, who do you replace him with? If you cut Caleb, who do you replace him with? I can see the Grady thing because we may come to a point this season, especially with the Kirk Cousins contract, that we might need to finagle some money. So Grady could be a cap casualty this offseason, or I don't know if he's willing to do it, but he's a local kid. His dad played here. I know ultimately Arthur Blank would love for him to retire here, but if he agrees to some kind of pay cut, which I don't know if he would, but if he agreed to a pay cut, maybe you could do that. T-Dub says, yeah, I get it, but Dame, yeah, hey man, it's one of them harsh realities, bro. Harsh realities. It's a harsh reality, but it's just no reason to pay to rent it back, man. It's no, no. There's too many holes on this team, man, to be trying to put that much money in your running back room. Don't make a lot of sense. It really don't make a lot of sense. Got our dog ATL Jordan Faithful in the house. What's going on, brother? Y'all also make sure to check out ATL Jordan Faithful here on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. If you're not already subscribed to his channel, before we got started in the meat of this conversation, we were talking about great Atlanta Falcons content creators where you're looking at one of the best right now on the screen. So show him a bunch of love and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And he also said, you're right, but this is a product of bad drafts. I absolutely agree, bro. You won't get any argument from me there. You won't get an argument from me there. This is a result of bad drafts and for roster building. I could say I could even go into say why drafting Bijan was a bad idea, but he here now. While the season is still being played, I'm gonna try my best to not cry over spilled milk. I'll say that for the off season when the content gets low. You know what I mean? When you got that long wait until the next season starts. But I could say drafting Bijan was not the smartest thing to do at the time the Falcons drafted him. But he's here now. I'm rooting for him, obviously. Obviously, I'm rooting for him. I'm trying to trade away the other running back because of him and how great of a player he is. But you make a damn good point. Jay Ross says it definitely shows the difference between personal feelings and business. Yeah, man. Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta stand on business, man. You gotta stand on business sometimes. And you're right. Difference between personal and hey, man, it's just business, bro. It's nothing personal. Hey, if it made sense for us, we love to keep you here, bro. We love to keep the tag team together. We love to keep the Rock and Roll Express together. Y'all old heads, y'all remember the Rock and Roll Express? Rick and Moore and Bobby Gibson. Jay Ross also said, however, Bijan get hurt, especially taking all the blocking and passing and running. We in big boy trouble. Yeah, and that's one of those things, man. You know how football goes, man. You're probably gonna get hurt at some point in your career. So you do make a very, very valid point in that regard, definitely. Tony says could have got an edge last year instead of Bijan, but since he was the most hyped up player in the draft, Atlanta wanted all the attention, so they selected him. Yeah, good point, Tony. I can't say you're wrong. And that's what I was saying a moment ago on ATL Jordan Faithful comment. I could make the argument right now that Bijan wasn't a wise draft pick. Hey, it's hard to know what Jalen Carter's doing and building the team in the trenches. But again, I'm gonna try not to cry too much over spilled milk while the season is going. Support what we got on the field right now. I'll try to reserve a lot of that criticism for the off season once we start doing like off season talk. It'd be a long football off season, so we'll have plenty of time to say, well, we should have drafted this guy, we should have did this, should have did this. We'll have plenty of time to do that. Like I said, when the games are no longer playing, and you got to find some way to get some content and have a conversation about something. I can dig more deep into that. Jada says teams look for versatile running backs these days. Yeah, everybody wants a Bijan. Everybody wants to like an Alvin Kamara, even Saquon Barkley. Those Derrick Henry types, man. They're not really what's in right now. Even though he's a exceptional running back, he's a once in a generation type running back and player. But you're right. They look for the versatile backs. Red Swarm says, Todd, I think that we have a similar situation with Pitts, but what we're getting out of Kyle, we can get in another tight end, get value for him and Tyler for young defensive picks. Yes, Swarm, and there was a lot of people early in the show that was saying the same thing. I said, hey man, you need to trade Kyle Pitts. talking about trading Tyler, you need to trade Pitts. And I don't disagree at all. I'll even add to this, like, why did we release Jono Smith, last year? To me, just my opinion, but last year he was the best tight end on the team last year. And for whatever reason, I get it. They wanted to free up cap. Well, let me stop pretending I don't know why they did it, but I probably would have did it. But they wanted to free up as much cap space as they could because they knew they were going to pursue Kirk Cousins, and they also wanted to pursue a pass rusher. So they needed all the available funds that they could get. But I think his cap hit was only like $6.5 million, and we still haven't used that money. I think right now we have about $8 million in cap space. So we've never used the money we freed up for Jono Smith. He played damn good football for us last year, and he going to Miami, and he having a career year in Miami. And they haven't even had their starting quarterback most of the season. He's still big boy balling. So I didn't like the Jono Smith cut. I would have kept him. I definitely would have kept him. Jason, but Lions paid David Montgomery, Jared Goff, Amon Ra, and some people on defense. We also could do that. We could try to do that. The Lions came from a situation, even with Jahmyr Gibbs, he's still on a rookie contract. And I think their starter, well, who they call their starter, I think his contract is going to expire when it's time to pay Jahmyr Gibbs. They're going to be in a similar situation. You won't have both of those running backs making like top tier running back money. If they do, you'll see that team start to deteriorate because they won't be in a position where they're going to be able to pay everybody. So if they try to pay everybody, if they try to pay both running backs, which I know they're not, but if they do, they're going to lose a lot of key pieces to their team. And also the Lions, when they hired Campbell and they started their more recent rebuild, they had a shitload of cap space anyway. They've been sorry for the longest, so got rid of Matthew Stafford, and that cleared up a lot of cap space for them. So they were working with a lot of money. And for us, we got to a point where we got our money back and we spent it. We done spent a lot of money. Kirk Cousins cost us a lot of money. Jesse Bates cost us some money. Matthew Judon, he's getting paid pretty good for 1 year. Justice Simmons, he's getting paid pretty good for 1 year. So we spent a lot of money. We're not broke right now, but we ain't big boy balling like we were, just about a year or so ago. Phelps or else. So I think our problem is we just don't want to play against. Let's all blow the horn on that one. You know how them old players who play for the Falcons, they like to come back and they like to stun on us. I still remember when Deion left and he came back and he showed out against us, started picking at the sideline as he was high stepping to a touchdown, and he did the dance in the corner of the Georgia Dome. That normally how it go for Falcon player. Well, I mean for our Falcons team. T. Terrace says trade Tyler and get a right tackle. So he's down with trading Tyler, and that's someone else saying that we need to get us a right tackle. Atlanta, Georgia says, Atlanta, Georgia face, so you make sense, but Falcons tend to batch. Yeah, that's kind of like the disappointing part, Leave it to the Falcons, they'll find a way to screw it up. Jada says, let Drake London walk. Oh, I don't know about that one, Jada. Yeah, you don't like Drake? You don't think Drake worth giving a second contract to? I like Drake London. I like Drake. Drake is not the most he's not like the most athletic wide receiver in terms of speed and quickness, But he has great hands, man. He has great hands. He has great technique too. High football IQ also, I like Drake. I'm good with Drake. As long as he ain't asking for no crazy ass money, like $35 million a year, like the stuff Jefferson and Jamar Chase, they asking for it and they're gonna eventually get. I'd be good with that. Phelps, or else is give Dallas Tyler and Pitts in the third round for Parsons and a tackle. Man, even the Cowboys wouldn't take that. They wouldn't take that trade, man. They're not finna move Micah Parsons, man. I don't foresee that happening. I was saying when all the trade rumors were going on before the trade deadline, when people was talking about Myles Garrett and people was talking about Myles Garrett and all that stuff. I was like, man, they're not about to trade them top tier pass rushers, man, and Max Crosby. It just won't happen. Misa Edit says, "What's good, Tyler? I still think we need somebody to spell Bijan. I'm not sure what you meant there, but I understand what you're saying. We don't want to run him to the ground. I agree, and that's why I say just go in the draft every 2 years and get a backup, man. You can find quality running backs in the draft in the NFL nowadays, but because it's a low value position, people, unlike, even though we done it, the Lions did it, but you don't see a lot of running back nowadays going in the first rounds or even the second rounds. Teams start looking at most of the running backs start coming off the board third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounds. So long as you're doing a good with your talent evaluation, which is another thing with the Falcons, you can find quality running backs. So remember, backup running back, solely your backup. You got your starter for years to come. You just need you a nice quality backup running back. Jada says, you think Drake ready to be paid top 10? No, not right now. Not right now. We don't have to worry about that for Drake landing for what? About another 2 years, I think. So yeah, we'll let him ride that rookie contract out until we gotta pay him. Jada says he ain't even fast. No, he not fast. He definitely not the speed, the burner on the team. That would be somebody like Darnell Mooney. I wish Drake did have a little more speed. He's definitely not fast at all. Atlanta Jordan Faithful says everything is messed up. Hate to think of restart. I know, man. That would be so dreadful, bro. So dreadful. That's why I'm hoping they get it together, man. And finish the year off strong. Let me say, yeah, what you are saying is making sense. It would be too much to pay two running backs, knowing we have to pay other players a different position. Yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of what I'm saying, Demetrius. Is just like you just paying two running backs nice money, man. Well, B. John's super big boy money because he's gonna get a lot of money. It just, as much as you want to keep Tyler, man, it just don't make sense to pay them both that kind of money, man. I think that would hurt the team way more than help the team. What says Cowboys, Bengals, Bills could all use a true feature back trade before the trade deadline next season if we don't get something done in the offseason. Exactamundo. Exactly. I would preferably like to do it in the offseason, for draft pick reasons. But like you say, and also I would like to do it before the season starts, mostly because I think that would make his trade value higher, because a team will look at it like, look, we get a full 17 games with this guy instead of trading him at the trade deadline and you only get maybe like half of the season, or 10 or 11 games. So I would prefer to do it before the season starts, just based off getting more back for him. And the Giants. Carlos says, what gets me all this shuffling of the deck and the coaching and the coaching staff still running the franchise to the ground. Meanwhile, they taking it to the bank. The fans and the players get the short end. Yeah, mainly the fans, man, because I know the players want to win, but at the end of the day, bro, them jokers still driving $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 cars. still living in $1 million houses. You know what I mean? It's just us fans who get up and go to work every day. You know, then we giving our money to the billionaires and the millionaires, and Falcons just seem like they can't figure it out. So I think we are the ones really get most of the short end of the stick. Phelps and Foster's not drafted TJ Watt started the domino effect. You can say that there were quite a few teams that passed on TJ Watt, and then of course nobody saw him being of course people knew he was gonna be good, or knew he had potential top level talent, but nobody saw the generational talent, obviously, based on where he went in the draft. Jadis is everything in this franchise missed. I think we just duct taping this team and rolling what we need to do a real rebuild. We had opportunity to do it when we got rid of Man and Julio, man, and then we got their money out the books, but we started drafting crazy. Kyle Pitts was a crazy draft, but like I say, I'm gonna try while we still got more games left in the season. I'm gonna try not to cry or spill milk too much. We'll dig into that deep in the offseason, I'm sure, especially if this team don't finish like they should. Phelps or else says if you draft Jalen Carter, then Philly gets Bijan, and that would have been ugly for the NFC. Possibly, quite possibly, but man, that problem on the defensive line, man, that we complain about 85-95% of this season, it wouldn't be there. And you still have Tyler Allgeier. Now I'm not having a conversation about trading Tyler. You know what I'm saying? But again, they here now. I would have loved to have Carter, but he here now. Jada says, I hate Terry Fontenot. He needs to go. He needs to go to draft picks and cut it. He don't even draft good the second round. Yeah, his second round picks have not panned out at all, man. At all. Don't get me started on Troy Anderson. Boy. Russ is tired. If Dez misses Monday night, Lord help you, Lord help me. You, boy, that would be so embarrassing. It's a typical Falcons move though. That's why we starting to talk about it, because we know it's like, bro, that would be the most Falcons thing in the world. It would be the most Falcons thing in the world, and to make it so bad, not only would he beat us, he put up 335 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he'll have like 40 rushing yards. Most Falcons thing in the world, and we all know it's possible that it could happen. Jay Lano says, I understand why people weren't happy with the Bijan pick, but we all should be happy we're getting from him now. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. He's been a great player for the Atlanta Falcons. He's continuing to get better. Like I said, I was apprehensive, reluctant about it first, just because I wanted to go a different way in the draft. But hey, man, once you get on the team, hey, I'm gonna eventually fall in line. Just a fan of the team at the end of the day. So you make a hell of a point, Jelena. Russell says Dez is gonna play the game of his life from Epstein. Yeah, yes. He gonna have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? He's going to have a lot of motivation to give the effort that you're speaking about, Rusty. So we gotta be on the lookout, man. We gotta be on the lookout. Misa says Jonah looked better than Pitts. To be honest, he did. He absolutely did. Absolutely did, man. And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, why get rid of this guy, man? Why? And then we didn't end up using the money. Also, y'all, if y'all want to, I know I've been on here about 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's a video. I think this is coming from a Vikings YouTube channel, Minnesota Vikings, about Kirk Cousins. Y'all wanna watch that and react to it? Do y'all, I don't know if y'all necessarily like reaction videos. I don't do a whole lot of them, but let me know if y'all want to watch this together and react to it. I haven't watched it yet. It's about 9 minutes long, so if y'all want to watch that together and then react to it, let me know. Jada says mock draft. Which what y'all rather do? Y'all want to do a mock draft, or y'all want to do a reaction to let me at least pull up the video so at least y'all can see what it looks like and you can make your decision based on that. Like I said, I haven't looked at it yet, so I would be reacting to it without even knowing or without even seeing it. But that's the video right there. So let me know, would y'all rather do a reaction or mock draft? I'll give y'all a few minutes to comment and let me know. All right, Jada says mock draft. Russell says reaction. Russell says too early for mock. Misa says reaction. Don, what's going on, bro? How you doing? All right, so it looks like 2 people say reaction, 1 person say mock draft. Let's see if we get one more comment. Noah says Kirk Cousins 20th in QBR, TD interception ratio, 31st, ranks the worst in turnovers. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, Jade, I'm sorry, man. You got outvoted, bro. Looks like majority of people want to do the reaction. But Jada, I promise you I will do a mock draft, Jada, very, very soon. I will do a mock draft very, very soon. But it looks like everybody want to do the reaction. So, but Jada, I give you my word. Very soon we will do a mock draft. If I don't do it this week, Jada, we will do it next week. I give you my word on that. So we're gonna do the mock draft, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and cue this up. Y'all don't move. I need to open my door real quick. Somebody about to come in the door. Don't move nowhere, y'all. I'm gonna be gone about 10 seconds. Don't move. And then we're gonna do the reaction video. Don't go nowhere. Okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all. My apologies. My bad. But I'm back. So let's go ahead and do the reaction video. And like I said, Jada, we will do a mock draft either this week or next week. I give you my word.
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
So let's start the reaction video. Give me just a second. Let me turn this music down a tad in the background. All right, y'all. So let's look at this. This is coming. Hold on, I need to say the name of the channel. This is coming from J&D Productions. They have 166,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, so a fairly big channel. I'm assuming that this is a Minnesota Vikings based YouTube channel. I'm really not sure. Like I say, I didn't watch it. I wanted to have a natural reaction to it, but we're gonna watch it here together here. Let me blow this up. Ray Ellison in the building. What's going on, Ray? How you doing? All right, so y'all, let's get started, man. We will watch this together. Let me move myself down. There we go. That looks better. That way you can see more of the screen. That music's still kind of loud. Let me turn this music down a little bit. All right, that's a little bit better. All right. All right, let's go, y'all.
high in the first round how bad the NFC South is, but nobody seriously thinks the Falcons are a contender or can make any noise in the postseason. Kirk was with the Vikings for a while, and it felt like he was just there because they couldn't really find anybody better. The Falcons even still drafted a quarterback high in the first round, despite giving Kirk a big deal. Meanwhile,
and that was a very, very, very controversial move that the Falcons made, giving Kirk Cousins the kind of contract they gave him, and also still drafting Michael Penix. And with Sam Darnold playing as well as he has, I forgot that the Vikings took a quarterback in the draft. I totally forgot. It slipped my mind.
the Vikings decided to do the same, but also signed a guy to start too. Of course, that was Sam Darnold. And suddenly, it looks like the Vikings are set up well for the future. But you would probably argue the opposite for the Falcons, as long as Kirk is starting. The Vikings and Kevin O'Connell moved on at the perfect time from Kirk. And now Darnold is
Say they moved on at the perfect time from Kirk. I must agree. After 80% of the regular season has been played this year, they moved off. Just like we talked about this the other night. Just like we moved off the perfect time for Matt Ryan. So funny how that comes full circle.
and Minnesota is a real contender. So how did the Vikings get so lucky? Quarterback was really an issue for the Vikings for a long time. They had that run to an NFC championship game with Brett Favre in 2009, and it just wasn't pretty for a long time after that. Christian Ponder was a complete mess, and it looked like there was some serious hope for...
I forgot they had Christian Ponder. He was trash. He was probably like a richer man's Desmond Ritter.
Teddy Bridgewater to be the franchise guy, but that nasty
ultimate bridge quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. I know some people, when we was going through our quarterback drama, some people wanted to bring him in.
The ACL tear ruined that. Sam Bradford came in, and then against all odds, the Vikings...
Sam Bradford, wasn't he the number one overall pick one of those years, y'all? Wasn't Bradford the number one pick in the NFL draft when he came out, or am I tripping? I thought Bradford was the number one pick overall. Am I tripping, y'all?
He's made another conference championship game, this time with Case Keenum somehow leading the way. Of course, that was the year of the iconic Minneapolis Miracle when Stephon Diggs scored to beat the Saints, even with...
Woo! Well, I love to see that play there. I think that was the year. No, that was the other year that the Saints choked. But yeah, I love that Minnesota Miracle, even though that's not my team. Good job keeping them bastards from, going into further in the playoffs.
With Keenum getting the Vikings to that point, it was still pretty obvious he just wasn't actually a franchise guy. The Vikings got what appeared to be a big upgrade in Kirk Cousins, who was consistently good for a long time in Washington and even had back-to-back winning seasons at one point, which just is not an easy task when your owner is Dan Snyder. It was time for Kirk to move on after being franchise tagged by Washington. He got a big bag from the Vikings. It was a 3-year, $84 million deal. It was the biggest contract in NFL history at the time. After never having
was that the first fully guaranteed contract of his kind? That Kirk Cousins contract, the $84 million? Noah East says, I didn't mind the Penix pick. I was pissed at the Cousins signing when you could have paid Russ 10 million or got in Fields or a cheap bridge. A lot of people thought that would have been a better way to build a team or to take the direction of the team, Noah. So you're not alone in that train of thought at all. A lot of people thought that. And that's why I said it was such a controversial move. I really think the fan base was kind of split in the middle on that. Probably still split in the middle about it now. But it doesn't look as bad now that, well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Because I would say as bad as Kurt has been lately, but it depends on how you look at it. Thank you, Carlo. He said, yeah, by the Jets. Okay, so let's keep going.
30 touchdown season in Washington. He did it in year one with the Vikings. Minnesota essentially had two pretty good seasons with Kirk at quarterback when you look back. In 2019, the Vikings went 10-6 and made the playoffs when Mike Zimmer was still the head coach. Kirk had a pretty good season. He had 26 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions, really took care of the football. He then threw for 30 plus touchdowns the next 2.
Did they say 26 touchdowns with only 6 interceptions? Well, how did he come to Atlanta and he already got 15? Am I tripping? Is it 15 interceptions in 13 games? Man, boy, they just pissed me off. Russell Bradford was drafted by St. Louis. Okay, appreciate it, Russell. Thank you. Jada just finished thought his career was over after both his ACL tears. Yeah, that's some tough injuries to come back from. But how does Kirk come here? He turning the ball over so much, man. You know. Let's keep going.
2 years, but it wasn't until 2022 when he and the Vikings had what I think is the peak of the Kirk Cousins time in Minnesota. Now, he did win a single playoff game with the Vikings. That was over the Saints in overtime in 2019. But I think 2022 was the best, and it's really a good example of what and just who Kirk Cousins is and what we're going to look at his career when he's done. The 2022 season was great for the Vikings. Somehow, they found ways to win close games no matter what, and they were just really fun to watch. That offense had Kirk leading the way while passing the ball to a young Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Kirk was balling this season, man. And I remember this is when I started paying a little more attention to him. And I think looking back, this is like what had me like so sold that this was a great move. I just did not see the fall off happening. And there's still a part of me that thinks that Kirk can still redeem himself. I still feel like he can find a way to get out of the slump he's in now. You know, like I say, due in part to what I remember seeing from him in 2022 and then how he started off in 2023 before he got hurt. Like, this dude was an MVP candidate, man. So I'm looking at like those last 2 years. I'm like, bruh, that's what we need in Atlanta, man. You need somebody who can get the ball to the weapons we already have.
Dalvin Cook was at running back. It was a very talented team, and Kevin O'Connell was the new, fun, offensive genius head coach. The Vikings were very easy to root for. They were 8-1 at one point and ended up finishing 13-4 and winning the NFC North. It was a big deal, and it felt like maybe the Vikings could be serious contenders for a long time, especially with Kirk Cousins there. But the reality is, Kirk wasn't the sole reason the Vikings were winning. He was helping, he was playing well, but not that well. It was a good team, but a lot of people did wonder if they were frauds. They were barely beating teams. It feels a lot like the Chiefs this season.
Sounds like the Falcons the first 9 games. You know, people wondering, are we frauds? We barely beating teams. I still remember when we were 6-3, our opponents still were scoring more points than we were, and I was looking at that and just thinking to myself, like, oh man, that's not good. That's not good. I remember in the back of my mind thinking to myself, that's an indication of something bad could happen down the stretch. Didn't want to say it out loud, but I kept looking at that stat, man, and I was like, that's not good. And it reared its ugly head here during the third quarter of the football season.
And of course, the Vikings then lost to the Giants in the wild card. It was an incredible regular season just to immediately lose in the postseason. It didn't help the narrative that Kirk just can't win big games, whether it's in primetime or just a playoff game. There were still plenty of reasons to believe in the Vikings past the season. Last year, the Vikings went 7-10, and it was Kirk's last year in Minnesota. But man, Kirk was playing really well. He only played in 8 games. In those 8 games, he passed for 18 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. I mean, I seriously thought
18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This man was balling last year. I'm talking about balling. Kirk was a top 3 quarterback before he got injured, y'all. This man was balling.
He had a chance to be in MVP discussions if he stayed healthy, but he ruptured his Achilles and missed the rest of the season. And that was ultimately it for him in Minnesota. The Vikings had to reset and pretty much just figure out what to do at quarterback. They drafted J.J. McCarthy, fresh off of winning a national championship at Michigan. He went 10th overall and still wasn't ever expected to start week 1. The Vikings signed Sam Darnold for a reason. Now, it was only a one-year deal, but he got $10 million. At one point, especially if Darnold was struggling at all, it would have just made a ton of sense for McCarthy to come in and play. But then in the preseason, he tore his meniscus. So he was out for the season just like that. And it was Sam Darnold's team. And now the Vikings are kind of in a weird situation for quarterback next season. You have a young rookie quarterback you spent a high pick on, but also Darnold has been playing very well with 28 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. It only makes sense to re-sign him if he wants to come back, but he could also get a big payday elsewhere if a team is really quarterback needy. Regardless, the Vikings have a tough decision to make at quarterback, and you can really say the same for the Falcons right about now too. The reality is Kirk Cousins hasn't been very good. His last 4 games specifically have been awful. 0-4 over the stretch. He's thrown.
Look at that, man. 0-4. Last 4 games. No touchdowns. That's really the part that has me tripping. 4 consecutive games without a touchdown, and essentially an interception, at least in every one of those games, and a couple of them multi-interceptions game. The last 2 games, 6 interceptions, man.
Thrown 8 interceptions and not a single touchdown. I mean, it just isn't working right now. On the year, Kirk has 17 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Early in the season, it felt like the Achilles could still be kind of giving him an issue with his mobility, but I think he's mostly looked fine. It's not like he was always a super mobile quarterback anyway. The issue is the Falcons gave him a 4-year, $160 million deal. Kirk's going to at least...
No, sir. No, sir. 4 years, 180 million. 100 million guaranteed, 90 million guaranteed the first 2 years, the other 10 million guaranteed the third year of the contract. Minor detail, but trust me, from a Falcons fans, we're pissed right now. We are hot right now. That 20 million means a lot to us right now.
Least have to be there for next season too, I think. And it's already looking like it's going pretty south fast. There was a lot of belief that the Falcons' offensive issues could just be completely erased by bringing in a competent quarterback that just wasn't Desmond Ridder. But here we are. Even with a new quarterback and a new head coach in Raheem Morris, the Falcons are still the Falcons. Luckily, Atlanta had a clear backup plan in case Kirk couldn't.
Gotta say the Falcons are still the Falcons. Y'all see how other fan bases, how they talk about us and how they treat us. Oh, this still the Falcons, bro. It don't matter. This is Atlanta gonna be Atlanta at the end of the day. That's really the narrative that the rest of the NFL, like, they still the Falcons, bro. Like, don't take those guys serious.
Stay healthy or just flat out sucked. It was definitely a big shock, but the Falcons did draft Michael Penix 8th at the draft. He was already 24 years old and had just played at Washington, where he led them to the national championship game, but did lose to Michigan and J.J. McCarthy. You really have to start wondering when he'll ever see the field now. I mean, if Kirk is really struggling, it could be worth seeing what the rookie can do. However, it's not like the Falcons are all in on thinking about the future right now. This is not a tank. The Falcons are right there fighting for the division title with the Buccaneers, who...
He right. This is definitely not a tank season for us, bro. Like, those days are over. Like, at this point, people in the front office, coaching staffs, like, your job security is kind of pretty much on the line. Not saying that you would be fired if we end up not making the playoffs this year, but it would affect your job security. That means the 2025 season now is really no bullshit. Like, you don't have a choice but to be successful. So a lot is riding on this season for a lot of people in high places and within the Falcons front office and coaching staff at Flowery Branch.
Are barely leading it right now. Once again, the NFC South just isn't very good, and the Falcons could seriously make the playoffs. If they don't get there, don't expect much. They just aren't set up to win in the postseason right now at all, but you never know. Meanwhile, the Vikings may be a...
Now, I do agree with him on that, and I got to be honest. Looking at this team, we didn't play most of the games. I don't think this team is set up to compete in the playoffs, but like the person just said, you never know once you get in there. But realistically, I don't see it. I was talking to a friend of mine just last night, and he was saying like, look, man, y'all ain't that good. If y'all win out, or if you win the majority of the games, it's probably gonna hurt y'all draft position more than y'all probably would lose more with losing your draft position than you actually would gain getting into the playoffs. And I told him, I said, look, this team needs to get in the playoffs. Like, we can't be worried about draft position this year. We've had 4 consecutive top 8 draft picks, 4 consecutive years, and I also was like, this team, this nucleus of players, even if we get in the playoffs and we get totally waxed in the first round or the wild card, even if we get waxed, this team needs the playoff experience. They need this playoff experience. So if we get blown out, they need that playoff experience going forward. So we need to win. I'm not worried about the draft position. We need to win at this point.
Legitimate contender. And it was made pretty clear during Kirk's return to Minnesota just how far off the Falcons are from the Vikings. The Falcons came in at 6-6, while the Vikings were 10-2. Funny enough, both on a tight race for a division championship. Minnesota won 42-21. But take a quick step back from that score. It wasn't a blowout game if you watched the game. The Falcons led 7-0, and Jordan Addison had a long 49-yard touchdown to tie it, and Justin Jefferson scored on a 12-yard pass late in the second quarter. It was only 14-10 in favor of the Vikings going into the half. Jay Jettas had another big touchdown, this time a 52-yarder in the third quarter, but the Falcons tied the game at 21 headed into the fourth quarter.
The game was tied 21-21. Going into the fourth quarter, and all hell broke loose.
Expect a game tied going into the fourth quarter to end up as a 21-point win, but the Vikings just got rolling. Addison had 2 big touchdowns from 11 and 6 yards out, and the Vikings just stepped on the Falcons' throats. Sam Darnold played out of his mind. He had a career high 347 yards and threw 5.
We made Sam Darnold look like young Peyton Manning, man. Only the Falcons specialize in doing that to quarterbacks, man. If you're working on your next contract, you better hope the Falcons are on the schedule.
5 touchdowns and no picks. Kirk did have 344 yards, but it came with 2 interceptions and no passing touchdowns again. It just wasn't a very pretty return for Kirk Cousins. Now at 36 years old and still kind of fresh off of an Achilles injury last season, you have to wonder how much time he has left in him. I've always rooted for Kirk, being a Washington fan. I hope he wins in Atlanta. The same.
Okay, so this guy's a Washington Redskins fan. I thought it was a Minnesota fan.
Same way I rooted for him in Minnesota, but his time is coming, man. At some point, especially if he keeps playing the way he has in recent weeks, the Falcons are going to have to see what they have in Michael Penix for their future, because Kirk just isn't playing well enough. Meanwhile, the Vikings have a guy they'd like to see at some point, but it doesn't even matter right now. Minnesota might be a very serious contender without Kirk Cousins, and that's in big part to Sam Darnold. What a difference a year can make. The return.
Okay, y'all, that's the end of the video. What do y'all, let me ask y'all, what do y'all think? He just ended his video talking about Michael Penix. So before we get out of here, where is everybody in the chat with Penix? Do you say, you know what, I'm not even trying to put Penix in here because this team is headed nowhere fast. Let's just wait until next season to put Penix in here, Or do you say no? He needs this valuable playing time these last 2-3 games, So where are you guys at with Michael Penix? Do you give Kirk 1 game to get his shit together? And if he don't do it, do you bring Penix in, or are you very reluctant to play Michael Penix? I want to know where y'all at. Noah says it's been 6 damn years. Yeah, 6 years since we've been in the playoffs. You're absolutely right. Carlos says, I still think we can at least win a game if we get in the playoffs. Call me crazy, but I really believe we could. I hope so, Carlo. I hope so. And that's what the gentleman was saying in his video. Once you get in there, anything can happen. That's what Misa just said also. We're a sneaky team. We don't know what can happen. Jada says, I bet Desmond Ridder going to throw for 344 yards, 3 TDs, and no interceptions. Hey, we talked about that a moment ago, man. That's typically how it goes for the Falcons, bro. That's just like, what we do best, unfortunately, man. It seems to be in our nature, dog. Since Bauer's going to get 234, damn good, dog. Jada says put Penix in. I don't care what nobody say. I feel you, man. Noah says, yes, put him in, man. Kurt ruined the Falcons playoff chance. So Noah said, yeah, put him in also. Triggs 9802 says, I say let Kirk Cousins and Raheem Morris suffer for the rest of the season. So Triggs said they got us in this mess. Let them finish this mess. I feel you, man. I feel you. Don't even put the kid in on this bullshit, right? Carlos says Kirk is in our rear view. Why are we waiting to start our future? So he said, hey, man, that's the future of the franchise. Kirk on his way out. Go ahead and put the kid in there. Misa says, I think we should see what Penix have. John Kemp says, I'm giving Kirk this game, and that's it. That's kind of what I'm at too, man. I genuinely would rather wait till next year for Penix and probably just let him start next year, a fresh slate, be the starter going in next year. But you can't let Kirk have 5 consecutive bad games, especially if he don't throw no touchdowns. At that point, especially if we lose, that really gonna be the determining factor for me. If we lose and he's still bad, you gotta go ahead and send him down. Jada says, actually keep Penix out. I want both Fontenot and Raheem gone. So I want us to lose the rest of the season. So you're using a little reverse psychology. Jamar says Penix won't play as long as we still have a chance to make the playoffs. We stuck with Kirk for now. And I know Coach say that a lot too. Coach, when he come on the panel, he said it all the time as well. But with that said, y'all, man, I want to thank y'all for coming in, man, and checking out the video with me and being engaging as usual, man. I always do appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and check out of here. Hey, man, we popped up on a Tuesday. We might pop up tomorrow. You never know. We might pop up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Be on the lookout. Man. We're gonna try to put more content out more consistently during the last 4 games of the season. So we might be here tomorrow. So you never know. Just make sure that you stay up to date. Because before I come on, I always set a schedule. I guess you call it a reminder. I don't know what you really call it. But again, we're gonna try to put out more content for this last 4 game stretch, man. So stay tuned, and we'll see y'all when we see y'all. Appreciate that, Jada. Thanks a bunch. What says if we get eliminated from the playoffs, then you put Penix in. Outside of that, it's Kirk's show. I can definitely understand that perspective also, man. I'm kind of sending that same card that you are as well. T Does says, to be honest, I want Penix to start off a new season, and that's mostly where I'm at too. I would rather him just start off with a fresh slate, man. Like somebody else say, this is Terry. Well, this is Kirk's and Raheem mess, so let them continue to stank it up. With that said, peace. I'm gone, y'all. Y'all be good.